So anyway, most of you know about Smart Village movement, but I'll just give a brief history. So I started this program to help Indian villages, and through my wife's actually cousin, first cousin, who was a mentor on the road, and he used to take villages and develop them. So I went to India and took my father's village in North Gujarat, and in 1 year we built classrooms and school and about 100 different tanks and latrines and skill center and all sorts of things, agriculture, all sorts of things. About 20 different things, including the water piping for the whole village and school smart school, etc. But at the end of it, after 1 year when I went back again, things were not as great as I had thought. And we cleaned up the village with all sorts of equipment. It became a very, very clean village too. So the point is that it is not sustainable. Okay, that was what I found. And we had to find a way that we always donate money because we think emotionally we want to donate money, but we never are able to create a situation by which this thing will be sustainable. And for 75 years in our lives, we have found that the rural ecosystem has not been sustainable and there's no businesses there. And the only way we think that 60% of the population that live in villages right now can be sustained is to bring businesses on the ground. So for the last 15 years, a great thing happened is the Congress government started a little bit, but the Modi government did a great job in creating the capital infrastructure, water and sanitation and roads and internet. So all those things are happening. It's a long process. Of course, it doesn't happen overnight. Like going to medical school. It took us 16 years, right, to become a specialist. Same here. It's going to take a lot of time to get the capital infrastructure taken care of. Once that is done, the next step, of course, is to also create a human infrastructure. No business is going to come to the ground unless there is education and healthcare, because people's families cannot come there unless you have them. So, but what we do is that we don't want to create the structure of that nature by just donating money, but we want to get the companies to come there so they can literally take it very efficiently, or NGOs to come there to do it very efficiently, nationwide really, Okay? So as a result of which, right now we have got several verticals including education, healthcare, healthy living, water, and sanitation to a great extent. And also we do digital technologies. And all our program is based on digital technology. If you bring digital technology, then people are trained. And we are in partnership with UC Berkeley. So the Haas School of Business and we are together. And therefore, we've got a tremendous amount of notoriety. And governments come and help us. So we've got we started with a pilot in the state of Meghalaya, a small state. And we've got 35 different businesses on the ground. Right now we brought drones for the first time, and Prime Minister Modi in Mann Ki Baat said that the Meghalaya got the first drones. We've got 25 stations in Meghalaya by which the people in the hilly state can get medications and vaccines. We were the first to bring in drones to clean the village, the rivers and the lakes, and now we're in Varanasi to clean the same thing too. We got the first open innovation in healthcare by which we do population management, and we got the second and third prize in the Open Innovation Conference in Amsterdam as well as in Spain. Many other things have happened. We've got so many articles, we've got impact studies and things like that. I don't want to go through those things. But what happened is that we created one particular program for Indu Bhai, who was telling me that I want something to be done for my village. So we created one STEM education program for him. He paid for it. Okay, I paid for another one also in Goraj. And what happened is that his pass rate from 61% went up to 100%. So all these people are now able to go to colleges and they're very enthusiastic. So it's a very innovative program. There are computers, there are different kind of electronics which are there, and people play with it. They're learning how to do things move around the entire classroom, etc. And when I went there to see it, there were 300 to 400 students who were so enthusiastic and thanked me profusely. I had so much of tears in my eyes that these people, they're all tribal kids, and they did such a great job in what is happening. So I think that what happens is that we are here, we make money, but some of our programs are so cheap. Like for example, we do foundational learning with Madi Foundation, which is got 37,000 schools in Tamil Nadu. The entire state of Tamil Nadu has given this particular contract to a NGO known as Madi Foundation, and they are doing foundational teaching from the age of 1, from the first standard to the 5th standard. And so they make them understand, because what happens right now, third year grade 3 students can't even do second grade reading. So they're not up to the mark, especially the rural villages, because there are no teachers. And we go to these villages and provide these facilities. We are not implementers to a great extent, we are facilitators. But we bring these companies to the ground, we make sure that they understand what we are trying to do. They go through the Berkeley Innovation Program, we make sure that they are able to sustain their movement, and then we bring them there. So Curiosity Gym, when it came there, amazing. Madi Foundation also we're doing, it costs only $7.50 per child per year. So we already got 60% funding from outside. So it is so great that we have to really, so we're doing 12,400 students by the way. So Anna will of course, our communications director, she will talk about it. So I'd like Anna to come and start presenting her part. I want to make it very direct. I know everybody is here to support and help, but we don't want to really have this as a long run thing.
I promise to keep it
So
short.
Anna is our communications director. She used to work for Lufthansa in Bombay. A Parsi lady, speaks Gujarati too. Soju bole che, which is very nice. Okay, and so she is with us for the last 3 years. She runs the whole thing, always on the phone and always on Zoom call every day with India. So she relieves me to a lot of my duties, and I really appreciate and admire her for what she does. Thank you.
Thank you for the kind words, Dr. Shah. So, yes, I'm Anna Fitter, and I born and raised in Bombay, or Mumbai as we call it now. Only moved here when I was about 26, so I think my formative years have been in India. I think everyone in this room has seen India at some point in their life, mainly grown up there. And I don't need to tell you, even today, the disparities that you noticed back then are still very much alive now. Growing up, when we would go to school, the cars and the buses that we would take to go to school were likely being washed by kids that were not going to school that day. When we'll be stopped at traffic lights, people are knocking at the door, asking us to buy their pens and pencils that they're likely never going to learn how to use. That's the state of at least 30% of India's children. So I won't lie, the reason I work with Smart Village Movement is because my bucket list is to ensure that no child in the world goes hungry or uneducated. And the only way to do that is to find a way that the family that the child is from is sustainable, it's earning a livelihood, has an income. Because when it comes to choosing between school education or survival, education is going to take a back seat. Fast forward to 20 years when I moved to the US, I became a mother. And once you become a mother to one or two, you feel you're like a mother, your responsibility is for all children in the world. And it's meaningful to find out that as the world is progressing, we are sending men into space. We are spending billions on building borders to protect our lands, but we are not able to solve the problem of poverty and hunger. And the children of the world deserve to be better. So 3 years ago when I met Dr. Shah, I was just moving out from volunteering from a children's nonprofit because it was not sustainable after COVID, and found that what his logic and his appreciation for sustainability, it made a lot of sense. Because a lot of charities are doing great work in the world and they continue to do so. But unless the funds are pouring in year after year, the projects and programs are not going to thrive. The only way to ensure that development takes place is to ensure that the income of the family is increasing. And the way to do that is to take facilities and opportunities to them. So this evening is basically dedicated to education and skills, because we believe that that's the first thing that a developing nation will need. So as you see, we are here to close the rural-urban gap. 3.4 billion underserved individuals are still living in poverty, and we hope at the end of 2035 at least those numbers go down. Next. So Dr. Shah has already touched upon how SVM is different. Mission is of course to empower people. We are not here to build big infrastructure or build companies in the rural areas. Core values are open innovation, which means we partner with people, we bring in knowledge from all sides, we collaborate. We are not in competition with any other NGO or any partners. We strive to work together with different people to bring the right solutions on the ground. Sustainability, so after we go from a pilot, it should be sustainable either with organic market forces or the government is going to scale it. And all of this leads to true empowerment of a family, not just charity or aid. We're actually proud that we serve all verticals of human life. Every aspect of a human life is touched by Smart Village movement. Many NGOs are either feeding the children or educating them or building clinics, but we bring all of these to the ground. Agriculture, obviously because that's the main livelihood in rural areas, education and skills, healthcare, which is Dr. Shah's baby, and infrastructure and sustainability to make sure they're connected, they have sanitation and water. Really quick, one thing that's different also about us is the way we work with the three stakeholders: state governments, corporations, and universities. Typically, all these three stakeholders have been working in silos. They do their own thing. There are government schemes that are tens of thousands of crores in India, but are just laying waste because nobody is implementing or evaluating them well. So we bring the three partners together to ensure that there are solutions that are validated on the ground, refine these business models, and scale it up throughout the state. Chief Minister Conrad Sangma had this to say: Smart Village Movement Initiative collaborates with us using the open innovation model to address rural community needs, showing how technology can create locally relevant solutions. We are probably the only NGO in India that also has an alliance with a premier institution like UC Berkeley, the Haas School of Business. They are our knowledge partners. They help us to bring the corporate partners to ground. Salesforce, in fact, funded one of our biggest education projects that has scaled now to 22 labs in Meghalaya. They bring us open innovation platform. They will help us refine the business models and do research and impact after the project is over. Next. So I don't mean to bore you with too many details because there are lots and lots of projects that we have done in all the different verticals in life. But indulge me for a minute while I just share with you, when Dr. Shah and I went in 2022 to India, we did a roadshow of about 4 states, Gujarat, UP, Nagaland, and Meghalaya. And there we met not only the chief minister and governors to understand from top down what their critical problems were. We actually went to 4 or 5 villages in each state and talked to the people there. And this is what I want to tell you, what the people in villages tell us, what they think a smart village is. Because we think maybe solar systems or telemedicine clinics. What is a smart village? Hi. So some of the answers boil down to this. First, they need the basics of clean water, power, livelihood. The ability to access facilities like quality healthcare, education, and livelihood opportunities close to home at a reasonable cost. And then they say, we just want to draw on our own natural resources and skills and expertise to earn a decent living and provide for our family. No one from here wishes to migrate to the crowded cities if we can live in our village close to community and nature. So hence, SVM strives to bring these opportunities and facilities closer to where people live in their own communities. Next. So here you can see some of the other projects. A lot of them are on websites, so we encourage you to please visit our website or look at our brochures and magazines. We basically brought all kinds of technology and digital innovations on the ground. Our most recent and most talked about project, if you see at the bottom left, is the AI-driven river and lake cleaning boat, which is busy cleaning about 2,000 kilos of garbage every month from the polluted lakes and rivers in Meghalaya. Now we are expanding it to Varanasi as well. Renewable energy, of course, we've done sustainable housing for affordable homestays and clean drinking water everywhere. Next. Back to impact. Yeah, so I'll let this soak in for a minute. We've only been here for 3 years, and so far, in just one state, we have touched 270,000 lives and more, because of course, you educate one generation and the entire family is educated for many generations on. We've created 1,000 employment opportunities, and almost 52 more villages have access to all these facilities. So I would say it's just not creating one village that matters, the entire cluster of villages has to be impacted too. Yeah, we won awards. I would be very amiss if I didn't mention that Smart Village Movements projects, especially Dr. Shah's preventive healthcare management program, that has been digital. It's a digital app that he has brought in. It's partnered with the government to bring preventive healthcare to every single person. Has won awards at the World Open Innovation Conference, and also has been recognized and awarded for the Tech Eagle drones and preventive healthcare by the Center of Innovation in Public Systems, called CIPS, in India. SVM has been featured at the World Economic Forum, Business Standard. India Today has done a cover story on us, and Economic Times has covered our lake cleaning initiative too. Of course, and the research papers and impact papers, which academics like to understand how to solve problems in other Asian countries, have been very well recognized too. Next. So this evening is about education and skills, because we believe that's the beginning for all development. We want to fund these 5 projects this year. First is the STEM Innovation Hub that Dr. Shah talked about. Then Foundational Literacy and Numeracy, which we call FLN. School infrastructure, where people have a safe and secure place to go learn. Skill development centers for adults, and the Business Innovation and Analytics program, which is in collaboration with UC Berkeley's Haas School of Business. So I'll quickly run over each project with you, try to make it as brief as possible. STEM is science, technology, education, engineering, and math. Now they even have an arts element to it, which they call STEAM. And for us, the goal is not just to make India a premier hub for scientific learning, but we want to be the tech innovation hub for the world in the coming 10 to 20 years. And the way to do that is to ensure that kids, when they are in just the 4th, 5th, 6th grade, have access to technology and engineering materials, that they're applying the theoretical knowledge they learn in classrooms to actually create projects themselves. Next. So we partner with a Bombay-based edutech company called Curiosity Gym. It has been a fantastic partner in both scaling and finding new ways to implement STEM. And they're bringing in things like robotics, engineering, electrical, electrical work, and also 3D printing to the classrooms. Next. There you go. So this is Dr. Indu Shah's school that he first funded in Gujarat, the Savli school. He paid us to implement the STEM projects for a whole year in this school, and we just got the report that the 12th grade students, their passing rate went from 65% to 100%, and hence we are urging donors and participants to help us scale it to 10 additional schools, both in Gujarat and Meghalaya. So this is some of the great stories we are learning from the students that actually have been through these places. This is Dr. Shah at his last visit to the EMRS school. The second one is a girl that goes to the STEM lab. Every single day she has to walk 2 kilometers, almost 1,500 steps to get to the lab. And she says that I've never seen a computer in my life and amazed at the possibility of this device. Without STEM labs, this would not have been possible. This is another great kid who has gone through our STEM program for a year. He's now becoming an electrical engineer. He has created solar lamps for the entire community. Thank you. This is the stuff that makes us really, really proud that we're on the right path. He says it's different from learning in our from our usual class. Here we learn theory and do it practical too. And I feel blessed that this hub is in our village, because now we've set up this young man for a lifetime of achievement just by a small intervention. Probably cost $27.50 to send him to this lab for the whole year. Next. So here are some numbers. For the fundraising goal for the STEM school, 110,000 supports 10 schools for the whole year, which is 11,000 per school, 4,000 students annually, and that comes to 2,750 per student per school year. It's the cost of a fast food meal at these places. Next. The second project is something that's very, very dear to my heart. It's when you are a mom yourself, you understand how important it is to have your kids on the right path early in life. And when children fall behind in school because they cannot read or do basic math, in the early years, they are backward for the entire academic career. So we partner with this great institution or organization called Madi Foundation. They have changed the landscape of Tamil Nadu's schooling. They help with teacher training and implement school workbooks and also parental support to bring up the level of literacy in kids and their basic arithmetic skills for the whole 5 years. This is something that's very, very alarming. So 81% of grade 3 children cannot solve a grade 2 level subtraction problem in India. It's a foundational learning crisis. 73% of grade 3 students cannot even read a grade 2 text. And the most shocking one of all, because I consider this one of the most advanced states in our country, Gujarat. In Gujarat's government schools, 48% of grade 8 students cannot read a grade 2 text. And this is not something we have created. This is a report from the government ACER study of 2022. So this is a very critical problem, especially in Gujarat. The states in the dark are the worst, so Jammu, Kashmir and Gujarat, and the lighter ones are the ones who are slightly better. Next. So, that's okay, yeah. So Madi and SPM use this model of 6 T's. How do we bring foundational learning to schools? We target communication, technology, teaching and learning materials, training, tutoring at home, and then tracking and evaluation. Because the worst thing that we can do is put up a scheme or a project and then leave it. Because without the monitoring and evaluation, there's not going to be the result or ROI that we hope for it. So we have to wait until the end to make sure that the impact report is created to see if it should be scaled up or not. Next. There we go. So this is what has happened with Madi Foundation's implementation in Tamil Nadu. Their literacy rates went up 30% and dropouts decreased to almost 25%. And even the state, the finance minister of Tamil Nadu has said that this will ensure foundational literacy and numeracy. And by 2025, all students in Tamil Nadu by age 8 are able to read with comprehension. Beyond the classroom would mean that we all know, we probably all come from families where our parents supported us. But there are going to be families in villages where the parents have no clue even what grade the child is going to or what they learn in school. So this helps the parents to get involved. With their intervention, it went up to 64% of parental involvement to over 91% of parents being involved. Next. So fundraising goal for foundational learning is 92,500, which is going to support 200 schools for a whole year. That's 12,400 students, and it's only $7.50 per student per year, $7.50. Less than a tip that we would leave after dinner. Next. One more project is for adults because learning never stops. A skill upgradation center in Gujarat, where we partnered with the Center of Entrepreneurship Development, CED, and are addressing challenges like the unemployment and low literacy, trying to mitigate the migration that takes place from the rural areas to cities to ensure that they have some skill trainings and opportunities where they live. So some of the skills we are hoping to bring is mechanical training, fire safety, welding, a fitter course, and also software and computer skills, as well as tailoring for women to help with women empowerment. This program is going to be a 3 to 6 month course. It'll ensure about 200 to 300 students each year. It gives them theoretical and practical training. So at the end of the course, we give them a certificate, but we also get them an internship in the industries close by. So once they have some practical knowledge of their trade, they get a job at those locations after. This is the Skill Upgradation Center in Halol in Gujarat. Partnering with CED, they've entrusted Smart Village Movement to be the training and implementation partner. So we are starting to collect capital funds right now. Next. The goal is 60,000 for the whole year of support to the entire Skill Upgradation Center. And one more is Business Innovation course, and this is with our knowledge partner UC Berkeley. It's an online course that we are offering the most underprivileged students of India. Students from USTM or IIT or anywhere in India can apply for this course. They get online training with what we call the Lean Launchpad methodology, which means the student is going to take a rural challenge that we offer them or one of their own startup ideas and come up with the entire business plan and also ensure that they will have funding eventually from it. Go ahead. So the benefits of this is basically the Lean Launchpad methodology, which is Silicon Valley's highly used business methodology, and practical skills in defining and validating a business solution. They get access to our Smart Village Innovation Program or platform, where we provide the 20 challenges that India is facing. They will come up with 4 or 5 solutions, and the winner will get seed money to take that forward. That program, go ahead, is only $400 per student. 12,000 supports the 30 students that SVM wishes to sponsor. And lastly, this is actually Dr. Indu Shah's pet project, school building infrastructures. We can provide all the learning materials and digital technologies to schools, but without a safe place to go and learn every day for a child, a roof over their heads, a midday meal, water and toilets, the education is not going to take them far. Nearly 1 in 4 schools in India does not even have a running toilet. This is a 2022 report. So with all the NGOs and things that are working in India, yes, more kids are starting to go to government schools, but the government facilities are not adequate to house them all. So our goal is to help as many schools as we can to build infrastructure, to expand their capacity so that they can house all the students. This is a key number to note there. In government schools, 57.9% is the amount that the schools are basically in 2018 enrollment. And now the enrollment has grown to 67.8, but the facilities have not matched. Next. So in 2022, we know some of you are familiar faces. You helped us raise money to go towards the infrastructure of 2 schools in Meghalaya. We broke ground in August 2023 after getting all the permissions from the government. And now they are in progress. They are going to be launched in August, both the schools. So along with infrastructure development, what your donation gets to infrastructure is quality of education and also community engagement, because having a good school in your village is aspirational for parents, for students. It enhances their ability to learn and also gives them more hope for a better future.
These are not very highly educated.
We should probably crank up ours. So I want to stop here because I want Dr. Indu Shah to actually come forth and talk about his own project. But all I can say, thank you. All I can say is that we never like to think that one person or a few people cannot make a difference in life.
I first of all like to welcome you all. On a short notice, a lot of people showed up, so I'm very happy. I would like to thank Anil Bhai to help me put this project together and do my presentation. Thank you, Anna, for the nice presentation. I would like to take you back to my school days in my village. I belong to a village called Savli, which is in Narmada district, Tilakwada Taluka. The village is, as of now, today 3,000 population. I spent my childhood there, and first 12 years of my life I lived there. My father had a small business there, a grocery store, and we were living in that village. And I did first 5 primary classes, first 5 standards in Savli village school. Now the village had 5 classes and there were only 4 rooms. So one of the class used to sit under the tree. So once a week, I used to have my, school days lessons under the tree. The teacher will come and teach us. That is how I went to the school. The village did not have any in-house water, electricity, or in-house toilet at that time. And in the beginning, the school, when it starts at like 11 o'clock, 4 or 5 of us, which are belonging to, the Shah, Patel, Pandya family, whatever, the headmaster will call and tell them to come at 10 o'clock. We will go, in 4 corners of the village, and we will get all the students to the school, so the school can start at 11. And the students were hiding inside the house, or maybe inside the, run away in the fields and whatnot. So it was a very difficult situation to get the education in that village. After 5th, I went to Sankheda, which is a taluka place, 7,000 population at that time when I was in a school. And I stayed with my grandmother and I finished my high school education. And then I did go to medical school in Baroda, became MBBS and came here. Now when I was studying and I saw these hard days, I always had a dream in myself, that someday I'll build a high school in this village, So I came here, things were better here, Being doctor, you can make good money and whatnot. The dream remained dream, it sit in my back of my mind, and years passed by. My father lived all his life there, he spent almost 60 years, in that village, and then he moved to Vadodara, and he passed away in 1988. So 1989 I went to the village and I took, I got some people who were kind of, panchayat and people related to the progress of the village. And I told them that I will build them a secondary high school. At that time they have a secondary high school with standard 9 and 10, which they started in 1965. And the school was running in one of the houses of one Thakur, who was like a Mohammedan guy, and he had a big land and big house. So he was just providing them the place for the school, and the school was, sitting in there. So I told them I'll put a secondary high school there, and the village people rejected, Anyway, I went ahead with their wish, and I put a school there in 1991 in memory of my father, SM Shah Vidya Mandir Savli. S stands for Somalal, M stands for...
We don't just donate money for most of the people. We do pilots, and when the pilots are successful, we take it to the government to really spread to the whole state. So in Meghalaya, for example, we funded one school as a pilot, made it ready and gave it to one NGO who runs clinics. Today they've got 50 schools in the state doing telemedicine to Apollo hospitals in Hyderabad and Delhi, etc. for people who have bypass surgery and transplants, etc. People in the villages don't have time. They really are day-to-day payments, which really makes them live, and they can't afford to go out. So some of the things that we do are very innovative. We've got so many projects now which are really being scaled up, and that's why we want to scale up one in Narmada too, with the 10